What the going on this team, Jerry?
Bury him! Bury him!
Jerry, TJ Watt.
He is the best defensive player on the planet.
Go! Yes! Yes! We're going to fire on Steelers fans! Bang! Run it down their throat!
No, that's not a penalty!
Game over! Game over! Don't ask me to do nothing! This is nothing!
He's aggressive.
Hello. Welcome back to another episode of the Steel Here podcast, where I'm your host, Kevin Adams, alongside my partner in crime, Jersey, Jerry Don. It is Sunday night, 10, 11, 12, 1. It is 1:15 East Coast time. It is 10:15 in LA, where I just left SoFi Stadium after the Steelers got their shit pushed in. And honestly, man, this is why when we recorded last week, I wanted to just kind of remain just a little more even keel, because I know that they're capable of losing games like they just lost to the Chargers. I think what's most devastating about that loss tonight is it's the first time that I thought the defense played great football for the first half, and Aaron Rodgers looked terrible, Jerry.
Yeah, it was worst game of the year for sure, by Aaron, I would say. He was off from the jump. It showed early on in that first quarter.
Yeah.
It wasn't really clicking. A lot of high balls, a lot of overthrows,
Yeah.
couple drops for sure. Offensive line didn't do a great job. I felt like we, at times were running the ball okay. But it's hard to run the ball when you're down multiple scores. You know what I mean? Just, I think you're right about the defense too, Kev. I thought we came out and played pretty damn good defense. I mean, we had that pick from Aaron Rodgers that they turned into 7 points. But other than that, they played pretty fucking well. The defense, at least from the defensive side of the ball, they played pretty fucking well. I know they gave up, some more rushing yards than they would have liked in that game. But man, Kevin, I think you're right. We talked about an hour ago on the phone, and you said we this is just who they are. They're pretty much incapable of playing multiple weeks good on both sides of the ball. And I think that's gonna ding us in the long run. We're gonna win games. We're gonna lose some more games. We're gonna win, but can we win the Super Bowl? No, we can.
And this is what I was saying to Jerry. So when I'm leaving the stadium, it's probably like maybe a 30-minute walk to where you can even get an Uber. So where SoFi Stadium is in Inglewood, which is not the nicest area in California. It's not the worst, but it's very close to Compton. And Jerry was just asking me where I'm staying, Motel 6, the most depressing backdrop I've ever fucking had, which is fitting. Because this feels nearly as low as that Packers loss. But I was about to tell Jerry a story, which I've never told. So we might as well start this episode off with something at least entertaining. When I was here 2 years ago, I stayed in Inglewood, which was so close to the stadium. I just thought it was a perfect location. I'll stay there. I don't care how unsafe it is, what have you. And I'm coming back from Hermosa Beach, where I'm staying currently. I'm in Hermosa Beach, which is a nice area, very, very nice area. Nothing negative to say about it. So when I was staying here 2 years ago, we played the Rams. That's when TJ had the interception, takes it down the right sideline.
Yeah.
Vibes were high that day. The night before, I'm staying with a couple of my friends, and we're leaving Hermosa Beach. We call an Uber back to Inglewood, and I say, can you take me to a weed dispensary? I just want to get a little bit of weed, go back, smoke, the whole deal. California has great weed. Obviously, wanted to enjoy it. He takes me to the dispensary, and I get the marijuana. I leave, and there's these two guys standing outside, and they're like, "Hey, brother, want to hit a dab?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll hit a dab." Jerry, I don't know if you know. You obviously don't smoke weed. So a dab, in my mind, is like wax. You're going to smoke a little bit of wax.
I'm familiar. I know what it is, yeah.
Okay, so I'm like, "Yeah, I'll hit a dab." They put this white substance that I've never, the dabs that I'm familiar with are yellow. All right. They put this white substance in a little clear pipe and they light it. And I'm like, all right, man, I've been drinking all day. All right. So nothing crazy, but I hit this. Turns out, Jerry, it wasn't a dab. As soon as I hit it, I look at him and I exhale and I'm like, that's not weed. The guy laughs. He goes, "No, brother, that's crack."
Crack?
So I bust your balls all the time. I've never told this story, but like, I'm just devastated. I want this to be a fun episode people enjoy. But yes, so actually, in Compton, California, I accidentally smoked crack one time.
Oh my God, that is crazy.
Yes, thank God the people I was with got me back to the house. Like it was the wildest experience I've ever had.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
So leaving that stadium tonight, I walked straight back to where the Uber picks us up. We get in that Uber. I come straight back to Hermosa Beach. I get right in the hotel. No
Yeah.
crack, no marijuana dispensary. Can't trust it.
Oh God, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad that you didn't continue the smoking.
After a loss like that, though, sometimes you think you might have to fucking smoke crack, Jerry, because this
Dude.
football team it's killing us. Because this is another one of those games where going into this, Jerry, for weeks now, you and I have had many conversations, both on the show and privately, where it's like, man, I trust Rodgers. I think Aaron Rodgers is fucking good. I think he's good enough to get us 24 to 28 a game, which I think is good enough to win most games. I think that's good enough to get through the playoffs in the AFC. And then tonight, they go out and they score, I would say 3 points. We'll give them the 10. The final score is 25-10. Really, that's some garbage time at the end there,
Yeah.
Wilson. But they beat the shit out of us. And it was the first time where I'm like, man, Aaron Rodgers is human. He looked terrible. He forced the ball. He was uncomfortable as shit in the pocket, Jerry. How many times did he look like he did not want to be in that pocket? He's rushing even before the pressure gets there. Now, I thought Broderick Jones was not great on the left side, even from the opening drive, and you see Rodgers chewing his ass out on the
Oh, yeah.
Faltanu had a bad game on the right side. I think Rodgers felt the pressure, couldn't move around in the pocket. And I was just listening to his interview post game there before we recorded, and he said he was uncomfortable. Like he doesn't move as quickly as he used to, and he didn't play well. And I think that you're going to see games where, and this comes back to what you just said, they're going to win games. They're going to win games. That's a bad day for Rodgers. And we're 9 games into the season. That's his worst game, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks have terrible games. All right. So I'm not going to lose my mind over it. I think what that shows us is that the Steelers are a very inconsistent football team. And if you get to the playoffs, which we now know we're not going to be the 1 seed, okay? No. If we win the division, awesome, but we're not going to be the 1 seed, so we're not going to get a bye. The Steelers have to win 3 games in the AFC in order to advance to the Super Bowl. And if that's the goal, which that should be the fucking goal, and I don't think either of us believe that that's going to come to fruition.
No.
I don't know that they are consistent enough to win 3 games, because you're always either going to get a game where the offense plays great and the defense plays terrible, or the defense plays great and the offense plays terrible, or it's just a combination of both. And I just think that that's who they are, and that's who they've been, Jerry. Like realistically, for many years, the defense either carries the offense the first half of this season has carried the defense. You're just not going to get a team that is well polished and can play that upper tier of football that we're begging them to play. I don't know if you blame coaching, the roster. There's a million things I think it could be, but it's like, I just think that's who they are. That's who they've been for years.
Yeah, man, that's just who they've been for, just a long time now, man. And, it's these losses like this under the lights, prime time. It's just, seems like this last decade has just gotten so much worse in prime time.
Yeah.
This is a game where I said to myself, okay, if we could win this game, dude, and move to 6-3, we would have beaten 3 pretty fucking good teams in the Patriots, Colts, and Chargers. And then we could have really been talking like, okay, this team is something.
Yep.
But it's the loss and just the way they lost, They had chances to put points on the board and they just never could get it going, They never, and they had 6 first downs up until I think a couple minutes left in 7 first downs, a couple minutes left in the 3rd or 4th quarter. I forget which one it was. Dude, teams get 7 first downs on a drive sometimes, It was just really, really tough to watch that game, man. And I feel like the defense kept us in it, for as long as they could until they just broke, And, we got the Bengals next week, which, listen, secondary's dinged up. I know Slay's down. I don't think that's losing much, if you ask me.
Who fucking who? Darius
Yeah,
Slay, Jerry, we said
yeah,
it a few episodes ago.
yeah.
It's a concussion. So, like, for the first time in Darius Slay in a Steelers uniform, he has an injury where I'm like, all right, it's a real injury. The other ones I feel like are just boo-boo
Yeah.
injuries.
Yeah.
He goes down tonight. I'm texting the group chat. I'm like, this fucking guy, he's never healthy. Like,
No,
never. Like, it's once a
never.
game, he's always doing this. I didn't realize that he had a concussion. So, like, I'm not going to talk too much shit about Darius Slay, but, you know, Jerry, I think that it's, as Steelers fans, it is like heartbreaking because that type of loss, a blowout loss. Okay, I would consider that a blowout loss. Regardless of, 15 points is what we're going to call the final score, whatever.
They got dominated, Kev.
Yes.
They got dominated.
Yes. I would equate it very similarly to what we did against the Colts last week, where I feel like, yes, the final score, we win by 7, but I thought we beat the shit out of them.
Yeah.
Same this week, however, the Chargers beat the shit out of us. It's getting to a point for me. And this is not me slighting Mike Tomlin, okay? However, he has been the head coach over many of these. The Pittsburgh Steelers, it's embarrassing. Like we're losing games, Jerry, on the big stage in prime time. Sunday Night Football. We got pounded by the Packers a few weeks ago. We get pounded tonight by the Chargers. Thursday night we lose to the Bengals Thursday night in Cincy. In prime time, the Steelers used to get up for it, Jerry. It used to be they'd put on a show. And as Steelers fans, we could be proud of it. The whole world, that watches football is watching that game tonight. And you see a Steelers team that, for the most part, scored 3 fucking points, couldn't get in the end zone. Defense played great until the wheels fell off there in the third and fourth quarter. It's just, Jerry, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. Like think about it, Jerry. We're the Pittsburgh. We're not the Carolina Panthers. We're not the Tennessee Titans. Yeah. We're not the Browns. We're supposed to be a very good football team, and yet all too often, and I feel like it is all too often in the last 5 to 6 years, we're getting our shit pounded in by teams that are, I would sometimes say, are on the same level as us. And yet they go out and they just drub the shit out of us. I don't think the Chargers played great football. I'll be honest. I don't think they played great football.
I don't think so either. I really don't.
I just think we played terrible.
Yeah. And another thing is, I think we should definitely hit on this. DK Metcalf has I know he's got some touchdowns this year, and that is great.
Yeah.
But the lack of separation, he's not getting any yards.
Mm-hmm.
He's really struggling to get open. I thought he had a horrible game. Obviously, quarterback has a bad game. Receivers are going to have bad games too. But nobody was really getting open. I know Jonnu was open on that play, and DK was pretty open on that, interception on Rodgers. But other than that, guys really just weren't getting open at all. There's no separation. They don't beat guys off the line of scrimmage.
No.
And the play calling was very odd tonight. Really, really weird tonight. I mean, they throw short of the sticks all the time on third down. I just don't understand it.
Yeah. Early in the game, real quick, you said something that Rodgers said. Did you hear Rodgers' post-game interview?
No.
He said exactly pretty much what you said. He said, I downfield, oftentimes I didn't see anybody open. And that's fucking concerning. But when you look at all the graphics and the stats, and these are things that we don't normally talk about when they're winning, but when you're going to lose, I'm going to be real about it. These are all things that I already see and I already know. The Steelers are nearly in the bottom 5 to 7 in the league in separation. So they don't have great separation. They really don't. Rodgers is either threading a needle and they're making a nice catch, or, we're just dinking and dunking down the field.
Yeah.
So that's why when it comes back to early in the week, we heard, and a couple of days ago, we heard that the Steelers tried to make a run at Jalen Waddle and thought that they had him, and the Dolphins got cold feet. You need a guy like that. You do. I love Calvin Austin. I think is good. I think Calvin Austin, and what we know is he's a wide receiver 3. He is a wide receiver fucking 3.
Yeah.
And we have bitched and complained for how many years now that the Steelers do not have a wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
And there's going to come a time where you need a wide receiver 2 because you can't win with tight ends and you cannot win just running the ball first. And I think tonight was one of those times where, and I'm not saying that they would have won the game because Rodgers was bad. He was bad.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to at least see him have another option out there that creates separation, that gives him a nice, easy throw to get the confidence going, things like that. We didn't have that. We don't have that on the roster for the most part. We do not have somebody that's a great route runner that wins and creates space. And so when Rodgers is off, and he misses DK. I thought in the first quarter, or early second quarter, whenever that was, he has DK wide open, touchdown. I mean, it's a touchdown. If he puts it where DK can catch it, it's easily a touchdown. He misses that one. He misses Jonnu Smith on the right sideline there in the second quarter when we're driving, and then Boswell goes on to miss a fucking field goal, which never happens. From that moment forward, even Jerry's in the Steel Here group chat. He's like, we're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
Like when you're missing field goals with Chris Boswell in a dome under premium conditions, that's just one of those ones you need to accept. But it's Rodgers played terrible. Yes, I agree. But I feel like the play calling early in that game did not help the Steelers. Jerry, I mean, run, pass.
Yeah.
And the third series, run, pass. And when Rodgers runs the pass on that third down, he gets sacked for a safety. Yeah. It's like they play conservative sometimes, when I just wish they would just let him fucking sling the ball. Because on that fourth series then, they let him throw the ball. He's throwing downfield. He connects to fucking DK. He's connecting downfield. That's when the Steelers are marching, and this is the same drive where ultimately Jonnu Smith, doesn't catch that ball, which I think was a catch. If we're being real, Jerry,
I do too. That ball didn't really move at all, you know?
No, I mean, yes, it can hit the ground. The NFL says it can hit the ground. As long as it doesn't move, it's still considered a catch. I thought he caught the ball. Regardless of that, they let Rodgers actually sling it on that drive. That's the best he looked. Of the whole night, that drive was the best that he looked.
Yeah.
I just wish sometimes the Steelers would take advantage. They started that game. The defense was hot. They force a 3-and-out. They force a 3-and-out to start the game. We've been begging, get off the field on third down. The defense does all of those things, and yet the offense cannot capitalize on it. Tomlin settles for like a 56-yard field goal on a 4th and 3 instead of trying to go for it. That comes back to, you're playing a great team. Why settle for 3 when you can maybe go for it? These are all things I could bitch about. I don't know that it would have made a difference in the outcome, but if we're going to look at it in totality, they're not good enough to play great football for 3 straight weeks against 3 straight good football teams like you would have to in the AFC right now. That's not to say 8 weeks from now when we go to the playoffs, it's not possible. But right now they have obviously shown us they're not good enough to play 3 straight weeks of good football.
What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick second to shout out our friends over at TickPick. You guys see me at the games. You see the seats that I have, the experiences that I get to enjoy, and that's all because of TickPick. If you're looking on the secondary market for tickets to a Steelers game and you're not using TickPick, you're honestly probably paying more than you should have to. There are no fees. It's upfront pricing, and you can use code STEELERS20 for $20 off your first order of game tickets. They're the best in the game, in my opinion, and I want you guys to be able to take advantage of how good their product is. So use TickPick moving forward. Let's get back to the episode.
No. I mean, I said it last week. This is a team that's just, they're very up and down, and they've shown they could beat anybody, and they could lose to anybody. That's why next week, people will say I put it out a tweet I'm terrified of the Bengals, and a couple Steelers fans DMing me fuck you scared of the Bengals for? Dude, I don't know, because we got fucking torched by them the last time. This team falls to 5-5. I mean, the division is pretty much dead. And I'm looking at it right now, Kevin. I think the division might be dead.
We're 5-4 and we're in first place. That's what Rodgers says in his post-game interview. But I think it's done.
I think the division is done.
I think the Ravens' schedule's way too easy.
Yeah.
The Ravens, I think, are going to get it going here. You know what sucks, Jerry, is that we were gifted the greatest chance at winning the division this season. You lose Burrow early, and the Browns always suck. The Bengals are not great this year. They beat us, but they're not a great football team. The Ravens are losing games. Even today, I thought there were chances where the Ravens didn't look very great, they're just an up-and-down football team. But I do have my concern. I agree with you. Full transparency, I think it's done. I think we ultimately are playing for a wild card spot at this point. Yeah. That's the Steelers right now going to 5-4, Jerry, 9 games through the season. That puts us on pace to go right around 10-7 or 9-8. That's who the fuck we are, Jerry. It doesn't matter who plays quarterback, who calls the offense, how good the receivers are, how good the defense plays, the defensive line, who you bring in, Jalen Ramsey, all this bullshit. We're a 10-7, a 9-8 football team. Until proven otherwise, that's who we are.
I just do what I don't understand is you come out and you're home last week and you beat the hottest team in football.
Yep.
You pretty much dominate them for 3.5 quarters. I mean, dominate them.
Yep.
You win that game. You go on the road to the Chargers, which pretty much is a home game for you guys.
Jerry, it was loud as shit in there.
And then you just lay an egg. I just don't understand it. How's that possible?
I'm going to tell you why I think that is because we didn't create takeaways today. Like this has been the biggest thing we've talked about. When we play good football teams, we beat the Patriots, who I, at this point, consider a very good football team. We beat the Vikings. Last week we beat the Colts, who is another very good football team. We create a million takeaways. Tonight, we didn't create very many takeaways. Now we had, I think, maybe 2 sacks. That might be generous. I'm not entirely sure how many sacks we had. It feels like 2 or 3. But no takeaways. And when the Steelers are not creating takeaways, it just feels like they're not. If they can create the takeaways, they can play with any team in the AFC, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But when they don't create the takeaways, that's when you see the Steelers struggling to finish drives, struggling to produce. We said it even last week. We beat the Colts. Yes, we felt like we dominated them, but how many long drives did we really have? Like, it's not as though we sustained offense throughout that entire game.
No.
And
they really haven't really all year had those long drives,
Right. And so you got to look at it realistically, not glass half full, but glass half empty. If we're going to criticize the team after a loss, when they don't produce the takeaways, it looks like they just are slugging through the game. Like it's yes, they maybe have a big play where DK gets deep and they catch a touch, but they don't have the type of offense where they just shred teams up and down the field.
No, they don't.
In the red zone.
They don't. It's all these little throws, short throws, getting the ball out quick, praying we beat them off the line. That's just what it is. Rodgers can't hang back there for 3-4 seconds, man. He just can't. And the Chargers did a good job of not allowing him to get out of the pocket, which he's shown this year. He still can get out the pocket and make some plays, but the Chargers did a great job of just keeping him in there, keeping him uncomfortable, getting some pressure on him. And listen, he's 41 years old. He doesn't want to get fucking hit no more,
They bottled them. Like their game plan was actually pretty fucking great.
Yeah.
First half was one of those games. I even tweeted it. I'm like, this feels like old school AFC football, like mid 2000s. It's a slugfest, like good defense up and down the field. Nobody's really scoring. Rodgers forces that ball to DK, and then the Chargers go down and score and take, pretty much commanding. The game was pretty much over at that point in time.
Yeah.
And so it's just, Jerry, I don't know. I'm not going to blame Tomlin for this because I don't think that there was anything Tomlin could have done. Tomlin wasn't the one throwing bad balls. Tomlin wasn't the one. I thought Arthur Smith called a terrible game early on.
Me too. I thought he called a horrendous game.
Awful. And you know what's crazy? This is 2 years, pretty much a year and a half that we've seen Arthur Smith call the offense for the Steelers. There are times where he's incredibly aggressive, and I love the play calling, and he's taking risks, and like they're doing shit we've never seen. And then there are other times I feel like this guy just goes out and it's like, let's just slug it up, run, pass, run, and they did it. And they do that, and that's what puts us behind the 8 ball. The offense just never produces any rhythm, going through the game. When they got to a point where they let Rodgers throw to open the run, it was the most successful that the offense was. That's that drive I'm talking about where John doesn't catch the ball. They just didn't even go back to that. I thought Jaylen Warren at times was very successful. Jaylen Warren, nothing I can say negative about him. I think he's a running back, and when he gets chances, he is going to produce. But we're so predictable. We are so fucking predictable in our losses, and that's why it looks like that. The offense is just, the defense keys in on it. The offense knows we're going to run, pass, and by the time it's third down, that's whenever they're fucking sending the blitz, and Rodgers can't move anywhere. Guys are not creating separation immediately off the line, and he's fucked. And so it's like you have to help him. You have to help him.
Yeah.
Throw the defense off. Don't let them know, yes, we are a run-first team, but you cannot just automatically let them key in on him on third down, knowing it's a pass every third down and a run on the first 2 fucking plays of the drive.
Yeah, it's just way too predictable, man. And I also, I feel like I've been stressing this every week. Jalen Warren does not touch the ball enough. He just doesn't touch the ball enough, man. You know, it seems like every time, I mean, he's hurdling guys for first downs. He's caught that one screen for like 30 yards, 35 yards, whatever it was.
Yep.
It's like, that whole offense should revolve around Jalen Warren. I mean, he should be touching, he literally should be touching the ball 20 plus times a game. He really should, and he hasn't. He really hasn't.
And I think that's where it comes down to. Again, I'm not criticizing Tomlin. However, Arthur Smith is a nice safe hire. I wish that the Steelers, and if we are going to bitch about anything, I wish that they would really go for a guy who sees a modern day offense and goes for it. You know what I mean? Like someone that is willing to play modern style of offense, that takes risks offensively. The play calls are, innovative. I just think Arthur Smith, and I don't dislike him because it works. And when it works, it's great. And it's, you can win games like that. I don't know that the way the Steelers play football is meant to win it all. And if you're not building a team and you're not, striving towards an offense that can ultimately win it all, then we're just wasting fucking time. And I feel like tonight was another one of those games where it's like, we're just wasting time. We're just wasting fucking time because they're not building an offense that's fucking high powered or can beat you in a myriad of ways. The Steelers are going to beat you because they run the ball and Rodgers makes a couple plays here and there. We're not carving teams. We don't have an incredible offense. We're pretty much damn near dead last in offensive efficiency. So it's not like the play calls are so good. Rodgers has a million options. That's why I just wish. And this is why I would love to still move on from Mike Tomlin. And I'll still continue to say that until they do, is because I just think his style of football is let's play safe and conservative. Let's trust this defense. This defense is going to keep us in it. And they did. They did everything they could fucking do. But the offense couldn't fucking carry their load in the first half. And that's when you lose those games. And it happens all too often against the elites, both in the AFC or the NFC or in the NFL in total. We don't play the same style of game that they do. So our off games, we get fucking pounded by them because we're nowhere near an efficient team.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's like the older I'm getting, I will say, is like I just feel like, I am like pissed off and, we lost that game and it was disaster. It's like the losses are just getting a little bit easier, man.
That's the problem, Jerry.
They're getting a little bit easier, and the reason for that is we're just starting to get used to it now. We're used to it now. This last decade now, we're used to these losses, and they're just starting to get easier and easier and easier because that hope you had years ago where they every year they had a chance to win it all. When we were young, they had a chance to win it all every single year.
Yep.
It's like now you're older and you realize, what this team is now, and they can't win it all, man. They can't win it all.
I don't need to see a full season to know whether or not the Steelers can win it all. I need to see probably 8 games. I think if I see 8 games, I'm pretty confident in who the Steelers are. Now, can they make adjustments? They made adjustments 2 weeks ago, and it looked better against the Colts. And I thought the defense was pretty decent tonight. They made some fucking plays. But I think we both know at the halfway point of this season, they're not winning a Super Bowl. They're not winning a Super Bowl this year. People aren't going to want to hear this, and they're going to be like, oh, you guys are so fucking, if they win next week, you'll be back in. Of course, we'll be back in. But deep down in my heart, I know, let's put it this way. The most honest I could ever be, gun to your fucking head, gun to my head. You're going to die. Yes or no? Can the Steelers win a Super Bowl? No.
No.
No. And I hate that you said what you just said. And this is what I was talking to somebody today when we were tailgating. He's like, man, you get so fired up about it. And I'm like, the day I'm not as fired up about these losses is the day I don't want to be a fan anymore, because that means I'm just accepting that we're like every other team that doesn't win Super Bowls. We come out here to have fun and to tailgate and to go to the games and fucking wave our little yellow towels and do all that shit. But we're not really thinking that we can win it all. You're right. And I think a lot of Steelers fans agree with you, Jerry. It's getting easier. And I get these tweets all the time. They're like, I don't even know why you get upset about it anymore. I've known this for 5-6 years. They don't.
Yeah, I get those tweets a lot too, Kev.
I don't want to believe that, Jerry. I don't. There's no fun in that. There's no
No,
fucking fun in
no,
it.
there's not. There's not. There's zero fun. But you know what? It's the reality, man. And I just, I really this pisses me off so much because that beginning of the year, I'm like, oh man, this team's gonna be fucking dangerous because we don't even need Rodgers to go nuts. We don't need him to go nuts. We just need him to be, just middle of the pack.
Yep.
And he pretty much has been up until this point, right?
Yeah, sure.
And we're still losing these games,
And that's why it's like, it doesn't matter, Jerry. It doesn't matter. Like, we've lost games with the killer bees when the offense was fucking elite.
Yeah.
You lost games when the defense was incredible. The Steelers had the third overall defense in 2020, the COVID year. They get blown out of the water at home against the Browns in the playoffs. Because I just don't know if what the Steelers believe can win games. And when I say what the Steelers believe, I'm talking directly about Mike Tomlin. And while tonight's loss is not a Mike Tomlin loss, it is still a Mike Tomlin football team. So it still comes back to him. I just don't know until you actually have a team that believes in being aggressive and coaching aggressively and bringing in coaches that are going to coach aggressively both on the offense and the defensive side of the ball. I just don't know that it's going to be different.
How many years left are on his deal? Forever. 2 more? Or this one?
26, 27. He's done after 27.
So we have the rest of this year and the rest of next year.
2 more years, 26 and 27.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing, Jerry. We're in it. We're
because they're not firing him. They're not going to let him walk.
As much as I'll fucking trust me, I have big ideas, Jerry. I have big ideas about how I would love to fucking get Mike Tomlin out.
No, he ain't going nowhere.
He's not leaving. He's not leaving.
No.
Like they're gonna ride at least. The only way Mike Tomlin ever leaves is either he says he wants to go or his contract ends and he moves on and the Steelers just don't. They're not firing him. I think we both know. Again, under your head, are they firing him? No fucking chance.
No shot. Zero chance. I wonder if he gets to because if he gets to the playoffs again and they get blown out in the playoffs, which the season we're playing right now looks like that's probably going to happen.
Sure.
If they do that again and get blown out, this is the most loud this fan base will ever be. Do you think he walks away?
No, I don't. And Jerry, this is something that I wanted to start talking about when we started to lose games, and if this is where it begins a run of bad losses, because let's be honest about it, the schedule is, Bengals coming to town. A few weeks ago, I'm like, I might bet 10 grand on the Steelers. I can't. I just can't do it. I think that's insane. Albeit, let's be honest, Jerry just lost 10 grand tonight. He accidentally
on a mistake. So I went to Steelers as soon as Ladd McConkey scored that touchdown. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm a massive still from last week. I was like, fuck it. I'll put $1,000 on the Steelers to win the game. And I put in the bet, and I'm just, hanging, put it in the bed, and just watching the game. And, I went to see that the bet went through. So I was like, let me just make sure this bet is in there, I go and look, and I hit an extra 0. So instead of 1,000, it was 10,000.
And extra 0.
And it just, when I put the $1,000 in, I knew it was a long shot. Like I knew we probably weren't gonna win that game, but I bet it just for that glimmer of hope. Like let me get back into this game because I felt myself getting out of the game, and I'm like, let me get back in this game, And then the extra 0, and I checked, and I just once I seen that, I knew my night was done. I knew it was done from there. So. It sucks. I'm pissed about it, but what are you gonna do, man? It's life. I made a fucking mistake, but hey, listen, I'm not even. Listen, the 10,000 it's a lot of money. It's like so much money. I could do so much with that money. I'm just more pissed off about the loss.
Yes.
Money comes, money goes. I've learned that in life. You make a lot of money one day, you lose the money the next day, you get paid one day, bills are the next day. Money comes, money goes. But man, to lose that game the way they did, especially on the opposite side of the ball, it's like, oh my God, it was so hard to watch.
Jerry, Bengals come to town, and then we go to Chicago. Like, I'll be in Chicago. I wish Jerry could come to the game. He can.
That is not going to be an easy game.
No, because the Bears, while they squeaked it out today, they can win games. Like they have the ability to beat the Steelers. I'll say that.
Yes,
The
yes.
Steelers, I'll pick the Steelers to win that game, but it's gonna be fucking hard. Soldier Field is hard to play in. I've been there. It is loud. It will be loud, especially for that game. The Steelers coming to town is like the Super Bowl for a lot of franchises, especially teams like the Bears that we play once every 8 years in Chicago.
Yeah.
It's gonna be raucous. It's gonna be a hard place to fucking play. Caleb Williams, you don't know which version of him you're gonna get. Sometimes he's terrible. Other times I'm like, this dude is fucking the number one overall pick, and that's what you're getting. That game's going to be hard. Then we go home. We have the Bills. While the Bills lose to the Dolphins today, I think the Bills are still the Buffalo Bills. They're still going to get fits. Josh Allen is still going to be a dog against us. The Steelers' next 3 games, even if they go 1-2, at that point we're under 500, Jerry. Like, or we're 500 on the button. So
500, yeah.
Yeah, we're at that point. It's yes, there are some division games left. I think we have 4 division games left down the stretch here. So you win your division games.
Got the Lions too.
Yes, you have a chance to win the division if you win the division games. But outside of that, the schedule is a fucking brutal. And like, you just can't. I thought the defense played good enough to win the game tonight. Early in the game, they played good enough to win the game. And that's why it's like you have to capitalize. Otherwise, you're just going to go through the season and you're still going to be another 10-7, 9-8 football team getting backdoored into the playoffs and getting your shit blown out. And so this is why, no matter what, Jerry, I will say this until he is genuinely gone. And tonight there were people I met at the tailgate that make like very, very good arguments for Mike Tomlin. And it's to a point where like, I'll listen. Absolutely. I'm not like closed-minded. I'm not going to not hear you out. They make arguments where they're like, man, he is good. Look what he does when we don't have a quarterback. Like, he always gets us to 10-7 playoffs, 9-8, blah, blah. I'm like, and my response is, but look what he does when we do have a quarterback. It's still 10-7, 9-8. And so I just don't know. This is crazy, Jerry. This is fucking crazy. I feel like we've had this conversation so many fucking times.
Yeah.
Like, when is it going to change, dude?
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably change next week. And maybe we fucking blow them out, and then it'll flip back again, and it's just the up and down. But I think Super Bowl. I think it might be off the table this year. I mean,
the AFC is wide open though. That is the only thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah,
the defense it appears as though the defense is getting better. I think we can both say that. Like, if we're gonna look for positives.
Yeah.
I feel like the defense for 2 games now against 2 what I would consider very good offenses, the defense has played great. I thought the defense.
I would agree. I would agree.
I thought the defense stopped the run very well last week against Jonathan Taylor, and then you see Jonathan Taylor go absolutely fucking bananas today.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, I want to build on this, but I need to see the Steelers play more than 2 weeks of good football. I need to see 3, 4, 5 weeks in a row. Even if you're going to lose, if they lost tonight and the game was 25-21, and we just lost the game because they made one more play than us, it's a lot easier to swallow than 25-10 when you weren't in the game at all going into the third quarter.
What's up, guys? Just want to take a quick break to shout out our friends at Pond Lee Hockey, the new official sponsor of the Steel Here podcast. And they want to let you know that when life hits you hard, you need a team that fights for you just as hard as your favorite players. That's Pond Lee Hockey, Pittsburgh's largest work injury firm. They specialize in winning injury and workers' compensation cases and are ready to go to battle for every dollar you deserve. From start to finish, they're with you every step of the way. And the first step, a free consultation. No strings, just answers. If you've been hurt at work or in an accident, call Pond Lee Hockey today. Now let's get back to the episode.
This game was pretty much done at halftime, but there was that glimmer of hope too. The Chargers come out in the second half and they go 3 and out.
Yep.
You got to capitalize. You got to flip the momentum. At that point, you got to flip it, and they just couldn't. They just couldn't, man. They couldn't.
I want to bring up to you because we're through 9 games now. Have you seen the Steelers offense run a single trick play this season? that you can even think of, like off the top of your head?
No.
Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah,
You know,
no.
when I look back at the Super Bowls the Steelers won, 05, 08, yes, in the 70s, but I'm not going to speak to ones that I didn't see, like really see. Did I watch the games? Yes. But when I'm talking 05, 08, 2010, when they go to the Super Bowl, they lose. There was every couple of games they did something, you know, and I look at the best teams in football, the Chiefs, the teams that go to the Super Bowl, the Eagles, they always have a trick play or two every couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Something that really throws the other team off. The Steelers don't have trick plays.
Yeah, and not even trick plays to score touchdowns. Plays on like a 2nd and 6 to pick up like 15, 20 yards, you know?
Just to jumpstart something, just to get a drive going in the right direction. Because usually if they can get a first down, they'll move the ball. They'll get more than one first down. The problem is the Steelers are damn near leading the league in 3 and outs. So when they have a 3 and out, you know, that is, and they do it a lot. They had a ton of 3 and outs like yet again tonight. But I'm not saying I want to see a trick play where it automatically has to be a touchdown.
No.
Something that jump starts this fucking offense. If they don't get a first down at all, it's multiple possessions there where we're just punting, giving them good field possession, hoping that the defense plays fucking great on the back end and then get us the ball back. I think that's where it comes down to. We're getting to a point where we know we're going to have to start being very aggressive on the offensive side of the football. And I would love to see them just take some fucking risks, man. Just start taking some risks.
I don't know. I don't even know if Arthur Smith is like I don't know. I'm still trying to understand, like, I just don't think he's very, like, I don't think he's capable. He just might not be capable of, like, coming up with that stuff.
Sometimes I wonder, is it Tomlin, you know, that they don't want to take the risks, or is it Arthur Smith just doesn't want to take the risk, or Aaron Rodgers, whatever it is. But I mean, I'm not even talking about just this season. Look at last year. They didn't run any trick plays with Russ. They didn't run any trick plays with Fields. The year before with Kenny or Mitch. You know, they just don't. They don't take risks, okay? And we've said this, you know, this is year 4 of the Steel Here podcast. The Steelers do not take risks. They don't. And when you're not going to take risks and you're playing on the big stage against the big teams, if you don't play perfect football, which they obviously did not tonight, you're going to lose the game. Like, you don't have the talent to overcome it. You don't have a top 5 quarterback in football. As much as Rodgers has played great, he's still not a top 5 quarterback. He's an older man. He doesn't have the legs under him to make him that upper echelon of quarterback. They don't do things that really put them in a position to overcome their inefficiencies. And it's like, man, I'm fine. I'm fine with the losing in the bad years. And they've been a lot of bad years now. This is year 9 if we don't win a playoff game. There's been some fucking bad years, Jerry.
Yep.
But try. Just fucking try. Well, I mean, what do you have to lose? What did you have to lose?
Yeah, you're losing anyway.
Right. So, like, just, if nothing else, just try to fucking be a different football team.
Yeah. Well, you know, we'll see what happens next week.
That's so sad that you say that. Like, you're yawning. It's like, brother, I'm just tired, Jerry. I'm just tired. This is another trip. I'm in LA. I'm leaving. My flight gets I just got the text right before we recorded. My flight
canceled?
Yes. Bad weather. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to get home in the morning now, book a different flight, whatever they schedule me. It's like all this shit we put into it as fans. I need to see them start to turn the corner. And every time we think that they are turning the corner, it goes right back to this.
Yeah, they don't turn the corner, man. They don't.
It's devastating, dude. It's fucking devastating. Like,
Kevin, you said it on the phone. I mean, this is who they are, man. This is it. This is who they are. This is it. They're incapable of putting multiple games together, 3-4 games where, like, both sides. Listen, they don't even have to win some of these games.
Right.
Just put some games together on both sides of the ball. We're like, you know what? The offense and defense played fucking pretty good, and we lost by a field goal at the end. Like, they made, like you said before, they made one more play than us. They can't even do that. Like, they can't even do that. And so, like you said it perfect. This is who they are. You know, we're halfway through the season. This is who they are. This is their identity. Okay, this is it.
Jerry, if they go, let me pull up the schedule real quick. Like, let's run down it real quick. We'll wrap this up. If they end up going 9-8, I don't know that 9-8 gets you in the playoffs this season. Like the AFC is so close, so tight. I don't know that 9-8 gets you in the playoffs. So their schedule, we know next week we play the Bengals at home, and then you have the Bears on the road. Let's run down it, and you be honest about these. Like we're not gassing up bullshit at this point. So let's be honest about it. Bengals at home.
I think we could win that game.
I agree. I fucking know, dude. I'm fucking devastated, but I just think that that's a game.
I think they could. Listen, I don't think it's going to be easy, but I think they could win that game.
Agreed. All right. So we win that game. Bears in Chicago.
I think we could beat them there.
I'm gonna take an L there. We don't play good in Chicago.
No.
I think Ben Johnson. I don't know. When you have good offensive-minded head coaches or coordinators, I stress. And now, did they overcome Shane Steichen last week? Sure. Exercise those demons. Tomlin actually beats a very good offensive coordinator / head coach. Sure. I think Ben Johnson can get the most out of the Bears. I'll say L. You'll say win. I'll say L. The Bills then come to town.
Loss.
No doubt about it. I'm taking an L on that for sure. We then go to Baltimore.
Loss.
Same. Come home. The game you're coming to December 15th, Monday Night Football, Dolphins.
I think
Win. If they don't win that one, that's it. I'm fucking done. I'm throwing a riot outside of the facility. We're getting Mike Tomlin out of here that day. Following week, 6 days later, Saturday, December 21st, Lions in Detroit.
Loss
For sure. I think they're way better than we are. Then you go on the road. Week later, Browns.
Win.
Agreed. I think the Browns are terrible. Even though we're not great, I still think we're beating them. Then you come home the final week of the season. It's that Ravens game.
I think they'll lose that game.
So you're saying we lose both games to the Ravens?
Yeah, I think so. The way it looks right now, yeah.
If that's the case, Jerry, we're not making the playoffs. You have them at that point. I think that's 8-9 we would have them at.
Oh, well. Yeah. I mean, I hate that. I'd fucking hate that. But the way they look right now, I mean, they're not gonna play with that Ravens team.
At 8-9, do you bring Rodgers back?
No.
Really?
Not at 8 and 9.
Really?
No.
I still think that, while he played terrible today, that's not who he's been all year. That's a one-off. Patrick Mahomes has bad games. Josh Allen has bad games.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, this is you said it, I said it. This is the worst game he's played all year. He's played pretty good up until this point. I'm not trashing him at all. It's just if he goes 8 and 9, and he's gonna get hit. He's gonna get hit a bunch more.
Yep.
He's gonna not make the playoffs while people in the media are saying the Steelers didn't go all in. I think they went in almost all in. What's he gonna say? What are they gonna do next year for him? They didn't even get him a wide receiver 2 this year. So is he even gonna want to play? I don't know.
That's a big part of it. Does he even want to come back? But you said something. I really want to fucking make this point because this was a big point that I made in the last episode. Whenever all the beat writers, all the guys, they all want to say the Steelers weren't all in. It's obvious. And then you come to find out that they were trying to get Jalen Waddle and they thought they were getting Jalen Waddle. They made the same offer that the Jaguars made for Jacoby Myers. However, Jacoby wanted to go to Jacksonville. They made the same offer for Rashid Shaheed. However, he did not want to come to Pittsburgh. So when they automatically, all the beat writers backtracked and they tried to say, oh, the Steelers, they weren't all in. This is obvious. They weren't all in. Shut the fuck up. Because if they're trying to get Jalen Waddle, I'm sure that required a first-round pick. I would assume that required a first-round pick. If they try to get Rashid Shaheed and they match the other offers, how can you say they weren't all in? I think this team believes they're all in. It just didn't work out. Sometimes you can try to fucking trade for a player and it just doesn't work out. You need to have a partner to dance with.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, dude. I think you're right. Just would have loved to see it, before the season started, man.
And that's the knock on Omar Khan, Jerry. That's the knock on Omar Khan. This is 2 years now under Omar Khan's tutelage that we haven't had a wide receiver 2 through this.
And I felt like he's drafted pretty well. It's just, and he's known for being a bit, more aggressive.
Sure.
But I don't know, man. I just think, this is back-to-back years now. You just don't have another receiver. It's really frustrating. It really is.
And so the thing that it opens up to the fans, to the media, to anyone that, watches football or criticizes football, even the average guy that's just talking to his buddies in his garage. When the Steelers don't have a wide receiver two and they lose the game tonight, and then Rodgers goes to the microphone and he says, there weren't a lot of guys, I didn't see a lot of guys open downfield. It leaves the ability for us to then criticize them.
Yeah.
Because they didn't do all of the things that you would think it would have been required if you're going to bring Rodgers in on a 1-year deal to try and really make a run. And so as much as I love Omar Khan, and I think he has had some great drafts because he has, I mean, to be fully honest with you, a lot of the guys that you see making plays for the Steelers are guys that he has drafted. He's had a hand in building this roster. And I think that although, it's coming up short and it continues to come up short, he's finding guys that I think are successful in the NFL.
Mm-hmm. When
you don't build out one of the most important parts and you bring in a guy like Rodgers who you want to be able to sling the ball, that's an indictment on him. Like, that's just, there's nothing else you can say about it. This is 2 years in a row now. He thought he had Ayuk. I'm tired of the Steelers almost having a fucking guy.
Yeah.
That's fair to say.
Yeah, they better go and draft one next year.
Yeah, no shit, man. I'm done, Jerry. It is fucking, for me, it's 11, 12, 1, 2. It's 2 o'clock on the East Coast. It's probably 1 o'clock for you.
Yeah.
It's been a day, man. We will record again Wednesday. We'll get another episode out Thursday, looking ahead to the Bengals game. It's tough, Jerry, and I don't know that it's going to get better. Hopefully a couple days from now, we feel a little bit more optimistic. I don't know that I will, the same way I wasn't very optimistic going into this game. As much as I said I think that we can win, we needed to see it, and we didn't get to see it. And so I think it is fair for us and every other Steelers fan that might be a little bit negative. I think it's fair for us to have our fucking day where it's like, I need to see them play better before I can buy in.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. Totally agree, man. Totally agree.
Appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Continue to share the show where you find it. Sure. We will record again. We'll see you guys here Thursday.
All right. See you guys Thursday.
Later, Jerry.
Later, big dog.
We're here. We're still here.
We are still here.